Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 377
377
of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Today we're talking more about the holiday season at the parks and resorts. And MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can book your trip. Or if you're thinking more about 2021, we have the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World coming up. So October 1st, I think, will be that kickoff date. I think without the pandemic, we might have seen it a little earlier.
Right.
But I think we're looking at October 1st at this time. So definitely check them out. And we are looking at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort right now.
Well, actually, what we're doing is we are walking all the way from the Ticket and Transportation Center to the Magic Kingdom because the Grand Floridian Walkway just opened.
And that was the most exciting thing for me this year. I actually was really excited that it opened.
Well, why don't you set up what we've done so far and where we're at?
Well, we parked at the Ticket and Transportation Center, walked over to Disney's Polynesian Resort. I think you may have bought some merchandise that day.
I did.
And then we're taking the walk over to the Grand Floridian right now to pick up some treats.
Well, a lot of our viewers may not even be aware that this walk has been there for quite some time, where you can walk all the way from the TTC to the Grand Floridian.
Well, I mean, it's been there, I think, pretty much all along. So I really enjoy this walk. Of course, it used to not have the DVC aspect, so there was a little more beach, but it's just a beautiful walk.
Well, here we're coming to the new walkway, and it's actually not that easy to find. It's right past Gasparilla's Grill here. So you're going to pass the restaurant and go towards the left, towards the corner where you think you're going across the street to the convention area.
I mean, it's not that it's hard to find. It's just that it's not where you would maybe expect it. And so it's not like there's this big sign, at least right now, there's
right.
no big sign.
This is it. This tiny little sign that's actually stars. It looked like it was...
It looked like mud, actually. Like, I thought maybe the sign was a little dirty, but it's stars. It's a really little sign. And so, if you can find Gasparilla Grill, it's really close to there. Or Gasparilla Island Grill.
Right, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So now we're walking, and we're looking at a 15 to 20 minute walk at most. Not more than, it shouldn't be more than about 15 minutes.
Right. Well, the first time we did it from our car, for me actually getting to the Magic Kingdom, it took 40 minutes. But I was recording
it. From the TTC and everything.
Actually, from the parking lot at the Magic Kingdom. So, exactly. This is the first of two bridges that we're going to cross. And after you cross this bridge, you can see there's a path. And it's just a dirt path going sort of to nowhere. So
don't go that way.
Yeah,
that doesn't go anywhere. I'm surprised they don't have it sort of like blocked off. Well,
the asphalt ends. It's kind of a good clue that it's not the correct way there.
And I just love walking around Walt Disney World property. So this is just, I've done it twice now. And, you get this great view of the Contemporary Resort. At times you'll see the Magic Kingdom, not so much the Magic Kingdom, mostly the Contemporary. And, of course, Disney's Polynesian Resort and Disney's Grand Floridian Resort.
And if you're a fan of monorails, if you enjoy seeing monorails go by, this is the walk for you because it's pretty nonstop. In this area, there's two going right over us as we walk by.
Well, it's adjacent pretty much to the monorail beam the entire way. And I just, right now, the monorail is not stopping at Disney's Polynesian Resort. So this you can take a boat to the Magic Kingdom, but this just gives you another option, one that's, pretty socially distant. And really just, especially right now, we have some beautiful days.
Now, this is a movable bridge because when they start showing the water pageant, you're going to see the floats for the electrical water pageant right there down the waterway there. They will be able to cross. At night, they'll be able to open up this bridge. And
the swing bridge.
It's a swing bridge, correct. I was looking for that word, swing bridge.
Yes, and...
not a drawbridge, very different.
They actually, on the second day that I did this, they had the bridge closed, and then they let guests over, and then they closed it again. I don't know why. I have pictures of it where it's, partially closed. I don't know what they were... I don't know what they were doing, but a manager was out there. On the first day that I did this, you were ahead of me and you met Craig for a little bit
from the Diz.
Right, you weren't expecting to see him. And I ran into Chef Christine Farmer from the Grand Floridian, who
and you can
makes
see this
gingerbread.
There's really not many people, so what kind of luck that we'll both run into people we know on this very empty walkway.
It was, it's wonderful because, the one thing about Walt Disney World for us, you see people that you know all the time. It can be cast members. I can go into Gasparilla Island Grill and, there's somebody that I know there. It'll be like, hey, Denise. It's really, and along the walkway.
And I just want to say, this is the only bench on the entire walk. So if I can add, they could use a few more benches in case you get tired while you're halfway out there.
I'm surprised by that. For some reason, I thought they were, and I didn't even notice them because it's
because they aren't there. That's the only bench.
I didn't even think about it because it's a fairly short walk, and everybody just probably wants to get to the Magic Kingdom.
And we just passed a brand new boat dock,
right?
So that is new, and our walk takes us right up to the Magic Kingdom here. And then when we turn around, they don't allow any pictures or video in that security area, but they do have that new, really good security system.
And I turned around just to take a picture of the sign, and a security guard came over to me, and he's like, and I showed him my picture. I said, I'm just taking a picture of the sign. But they probably should have a berm or something there because so many guests are going to take pictures of the monorail looking in that general direction. So I went twice. I went to go see my mother, and I went to get her...
For Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving. A few days before Thanksgiving, I got some gingerbread items. I got a little Stalin for her.
So good.
The cupcake was for us. I went to the Grand Floridian, and I got some items, but I also went over to the Yacht Club. So anyway, I just love that they have these items now. Usually the Grand Floridian has the big Stalin, but the little Stalin was really good. $9.99, and then they had some bark, and I think that was also about $8 or $10.
And you were able to mobile order all of this too.
I mobile ordered it, went inside to pick it up, and then went on along my way to the Magic Kingdom where I couldn't get in anyway, and
we didn't have a park pass. Back.
And this cupcake has red velvet, and it has cream cheese, some cream cheese in the center. They do a lot of red velvet and cream cheese items this year. I was the only person on the ferry boat back. My day was planned to not be around too many guests because it's Thanksgiving week. We pretty much stayed home most of the week. But I had just a really nice day with a lot of social distancing. I picked up food at the Ale and Compass. I ordered breakfast, and you can take the food to go.
That looks really good.
Yeah, it was nice. And then I went in to get some gingerbread, and they also have this Beach Club carousel gingerbread item, like a gingerbread house. And this is at the Beach Club Marketplace, which is where I picked a few more items. I made a very brief visit to my mom. And she loves Disney, and I wanted to kind of bring a little Disney to her.
You brought a lot. She had a great treat. Look at that nice Stalin.
That Stalin's in our refrigerator.
Did she get the small Stalin?
She got this. She wanted the small one.
I hope she's not watching this.
So, it was nice to be able to, kind of treat her to some Disney items.
And then Saturday night after Thanksgiving, we went to the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin, and here comes vacationing Santa Claus on his golf cart. It was so wonderful to see him again, and Mrs. Claus and Kandy Kane. And speaking of them, there they are.
Now, this year is different than normal in that because of social distancing measures, Santa and Mrs. Claus and Kandy Kane are part of an event called Santa's Holiday Hangout. And this is just for resort guests. If you're staying at the property, we were invited
to cover it from
yes,
our steps.
I was so happy to be able to see them. This is something we've been doing since 2013, is going to visit them. It's my favorite Santa Claus experience, and to see Mrs. Claus and know they're doing well makes me very happy.
And Mrs. Claus has a new book now. She's reading towards the night before Christmas.
She always had the Polar
finally
Express.
finished the Polar Express. And once again, Santa was playing golf. But it wasn't with Goofy. He was playing it with Mickey this year. So, Santa only hangs around the top of the line cheeses there.
So, Santa has his mask on, as does Mrs. Claus and Kandy Kane. And also, as part of the Santa's Holiday Hangout, you can decorate cookies.
And I hope everyone decorates better than us.
We did a very poor job.
Yeah, and we did such a great job at the Gaylord, but this time not as good. We should have cut the those little fillings a little bit less, so less would come out.
I tried to do that, and then it felt like nothing was coming out, so I probably made a
And look at Mrs. Claus showing her fine cookies. And then we're going to pan down, and I hope I don't show it very long.
And my Suave hand sanitizer. That's my favorite hand sanitizer,
see, we've
by the way.
had better days with our...
there
there
wasn't like utensils to move everything around, so I didn't want to use my fingers or anything, so we just dolloped everything
Well, we did
on top.
very good with this, though. Santa's favorite cocoa, you had some vodka, you had some Kahlua. It was delightful.
You do see that Santa's favorite is the alcohol one,
of
not
course.
the non-alcohol one.
Of course, Santa is he knows what he's doing.
We really
Speaking
appreciate
of Santa,
it.
this Santa here is made out of chocolate. Everything you see here is made out of chocolate, except for the wall in the background.
Well, there's about 3,000 pounds of chocolate in this Santa display, and this is just open in the resort. This isn't, at the Santa's holiday hangout.
Look at the calorie count. 6,875,000 calories. That's a lot of chocolate.
But the display is 10 years old, so I wouldn't even try to eat it.
A little dust with your chocolate.
No dust, but it's the chocolate's not new. And I love seeing the display out this year.
And the resort is beautifully decorated. I always like to see the swans. And of course, you have the nice lighting here.
So they have actually the Santa's Dancing Lights Spectacular. For a number of years, many years, I guess, at this point, there has been like synchronized lights outside with music, which is really nice. And that's on the causeway where Santa and Mrs. Claus usually are.
Right.
Now we are in the Dolphin, which is actually the more spectacular lobby where they have the Christmas tree. I can't believe that this lobby has been done for over 3 years now.
I know. I remember when they just rededicated it.
Right. We were invited out to that, and it feels like it was like last year.
And this was new to us, the elevator area. That was just recently completed.
And it just, it was a beautiful night. It wasn't as chilly as we're getting right now. Like tomorrow it's going to be in the 30s.
So we decided to go for a walk over to Epcot, and our first stop here was Disney's BoardWalk because we had stayed at the BoardWalk a number of months ago. So it was kind of fun to go and see our good friends, these nice chairs here that are hanging out by the fireplace.
There's actually, I guess, about 4 of them, and they all have names. And like Todd is one of them, and I don't know if Todd was out, and like Alex. There's just Paul.
They rotate.
Oh, Paul was out.
Yes.
Okay, this is like Paul. So I didn't even ever notice that they had like feet, like really like feet.
Look at those feet. Yes.
Yeah. And in all these years, that's something I took pictures of their feet this time and posted them, and a lot of people had never noticed that.
Clearly they are creepy like chairs, but some, I think they have a nice charm to them. And speaking of charm and creepiness, the clown pool here may have seen its last days because right now the clown pool has been disassembled and everything is behind a covering here. So I don't know if it'll still be, when this is done, if you'll still have a clown or if it'll just be a regular slide exit.
I thought they took the clown away.
Yeah, they disassembled
a couple months ago.
I saw it being put into a truck. Yes.
So we don't have no idea what's coming back. It'll be interesting to see if they have any sort of a clown slide or what it will be. But it's interesting because when we stayed here, it was before the parks reopened.
Right.
And the pool was
packed.
fairly busy. I mean, because there was nothing almost else to do as much at that time.
And you just saw the boardwalk tree, but now we are in Epcot into the International Gateway, and the first thing that greets you is these beautiful window displays, and here is Minnie and Mickey in their Christmas attire.
And I always love window displays. If there's nice window displays, I tend to take those pictures.
Oh, Denise will stop.
Yes,
no matter what, we
them.
will stop and fully enjoy the windows.
And especially when there's characters or just something interesting in them.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, and they usually have character window displays here at the International Gateway at World Traveler for the holidays or often for Halloween or,
Festival of the Arts, they'll
right,
be
the different
painting,
festival.
Depending on the festival, they're doing what's appropriate.
But we've seen Donald hanging around here previously, and here we have Pluto holding a gift, and also we have Chip and Dale, who are, I assume, tying ribbon on the gift.
Yeah, and Chip and Dale are also on some of the merchandise too, so you get to see a little of them. And during the Flower and Garden Festival, they're displayed there as well.
It's nice to, walk into the park or walk out of the park and just have a little extra Disney magic, in the windows.
And speaking of the merchandise, here's just a very brief look at some of there's Chip and Dale Naughty or Nice there.
And the Chip and Dale
Nutty or Nutty and Bright.
Oh, so, Chip and Dale look a little different, like their eye, they're not as exactly on model as what we're used to, just a little different.
Now, this area that we're looking at is one of our favorite areas from the past. It used to house the Lights of Winter. It was a beautiful light display that was retired about 12 or so years ago. But now we have the Epcot Christmas tree, and it's still as beautiful as ever.
And the Lights of Winter was my favorite, probably, Disney display over the years. So.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Mm-hmm. Then we went into the Journey into Imagination with Figment to see Figment's new Christmas sweater.
And we arrived to Epcot probably just before 8:45. It was closing at 10, and we rode Imagination. You can see almost nobody's here. And then 2 Living with the Lands and Soarin.
Well, we did Soarin maybe 5 minutes before 10. Mm-hmm. So and that was the fastest I have ever gotten onto Soarin. No wait, just walk almost right in.
Right. And it was a little busier during the day, but again, we had kind of waited all week to actually do anything, and it was nice.
This was a Saturday after Thanksgiving, and here it is. There's the holiday sweater.
It's really nice. I'm surprised they're not selling a holiday sweater, but it gave us a reason to kind of come in here. And I hadn't even noticed on the sweater that they have the Imagination building. Why don't we have this sweater? Like, why
is the logo, the old Imagination logo? It's beautiful,
right? But you also have the it looks like the Imagination building on the bottom.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so why don't we have this also on a turvis and on a hat?
Oh, look at this! You are right. I did not notice that. Very nice.
I
Denise.
just noticed
Great
it right
detail.
now. Yeah, so I'm hoping that they will make a lot of merchandise out of this, but we'll see.
Well, it's a nice little bonus. Anytime they do a little something extra, something simple, just like changing a sweater makes a big difference. It's nice for us that are constantly going to the parks, and it's really a Christmas feel. Here's your favorite part of the attraction.
Is this the part where they blow the air?
Yes, like when I was recording this, I looked over to you and your eyes were closed and you were holding your ears because it makes a very loud sound of air.
I put my head down because I don't like being blown with air like that. I don't like surprises like that.
But this is a nice remembrance of the classic attraction, so I do enjoy seeing this part.
So this was fun. We had no wait for the attraction again on a Saturday night after Thanksgiving. I know Thanksgiving week was pretty busy, but it was not on this night.
That's right. So, and here we go, the exit, and I think we're going to go directly from here over to the Land Pavilion. And
Living with the Land is the one attraction. If there was only one attraction for this evening, I really wanted to ride Living with the Land. They have the Merry and Bright Nights.
Over the years, it has really improved to, this is the best year ever for, what is it officially called again?
Merry and Bright Nights.
Nights, not lights. I always say lights. Bright Nights.
So last year they started this Living with the Land Merry and Bright Nights, and they really decorated so much more than they had in the past.
Denise's hands, by the way,
yes.
are showing you all sorts of movement.
So, Living with the Land unofficially has decorated for many years, and we posted about it quite a bit and talked about it, but it's really beautiful after dark now because they do this.
And these snowmen have been in this area, this general area, for at least 5 years. I was going back and looking at our videos from past years. So it used to be the snowmen and a few little things, and then last year, as you said, they just kind of went all out.
Well, they had
after dark.
They had wreaths and ornaments and different things, but not as much lighting, not as much lights. So it really took it to a new level. We have a very good view here because we ended up with our own boat in the front row. Right now you might get the second row, and then you're going to have some plastic, in front of you because I think they fill
we
every row.
We did 2 attempts to get this, by the way.
Did.
I did request
That's why we did
the front, and I was unable to get that the first time, but we waited around till, it looked like there was almost nobody in line. There was nobody in line, and in that case, we just got lucky with timing later at night to have our own boat. And the front. The front, really, to get a good video like this, you really do need the front with the plexiglass now.
Right. Well, it's not, I don't think it's plexiglass. I think it's plastic.
I should say plastic, yeah. Plastic.
A lot of the attractions now, while we're looking at this beautiful view, a lot of the attractions at the moment have either plexiglass or like a plastic if you're going to be near other guests. So that is the way living with the land is as well.
Oh, there is a beautiful reindeer. I'd like to say it's Rudolph there.
It's very different because usually when they've had it, it hasn't been a full topiary head. It has been just like the wireframe and then a red nose. So it's a little different this year. And then, the lettuce has the Mickey shape. Sometimes it will say Epcot in it.
Yes.
And at the very end is where you'll see some kind of bigger trees with, or bigger plants with lights in them.
Lots of gifts and ornaments this year. More ornaments than I've ever seen. More lights than I've ever seen. And the stockings. This room looks gorgeous. I
think there's 4 greenhouses, so you get to go through all of them and just really enjoy the lights. And I personally would say go at the very end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say that. And do you remember the one thing that we had said we would have liked to have added? We said last year.
No.
Music.
Oh.
Christmas music. That was what our big thing. And they didn't take us up on it. But wouldn't it have been great to have nice Christmas music in that section anyway?
And I just want to say again, very end of the night is a time, in my opinion, to go.
And now we're at LEGOLAND. This was a special after-hours event. We were invited by one of our friends who works at LEGOLAND. So this was a preview for the Christmas season.
And the Christmas season has now actually started. It runs through December 31st, but it's on weekends and then from the 24th through the 31st. And they have a variety of different characters, including we're looking here at the gingerbread man. And then, of course, there are other employees or performers here.
They are performers. They happen to also be with the gingerbread man in the show that takes place right next door, which we did not get to see on this night. But I don't know if it was actually. No, I guess it was happening, but we had to choose between one of 2 shows, and we chose the outside show.
We were there for 2 hours.
Yeah, it was a very quick event, but a lot of energy in the gingerbread man there, so that was nice and a beautiful view. It's nicely lit with all kinds of Christmas lights, and of course you'll see the double-decker carousel.
Well, the main thing about the carousel is it has holiday music.
Yeah.
And so I think they call it like a holiday sing-along. And then there are model builds. There was at least one that I saw a picture of that we did not see because I think the entire park was not open to us. It's not like there were no rides or anything open. So here is...
Toy Soldier.
Yes. And so there's, again, a variety of different characters to meet. I really like going into Miniland, and this is something you probably won't show, right?
Right, because I didn't get to do that because there was so little time, and I chose to see the show. I should have gone to Miniland.
Well, Miniland has so many Santas and elves and like to look at, and I really enjoyed that. It's almost like a little scavenger hunt.
And here is Christmas Unikitty.
That was an interesting meet and greet. And Unikitty did a show, I thought.
She did, something. Yes. I remember that was a couple years ago we saw her show. I don't think it was necessarily holiday themed.
It might not have been.
But I noticed she does have her earmuffs, and it was pretty hot that day, too. So Unikitty is dressing appropriately.
And we never went into the Holiday Village Postal Service because it was a little busier. It wasn't busy. It was just busier. Very popular, right? But... kids are writing to Lego Santa and letting them know what they would like. And Lego Santa will come to their houses, apparently, on Christmas.
It seems like it was a really nice, it was very popular, obviously. And then, of course, speaking of Santa, we met Lego Santa, and there he is.
And I thought that was interesting how we were outside and we were watching him, look out his window.
This scene right here, yeah.
Yeah, we were outside. We were actually outside when this scene was shot.
But then we went in to actually meet Lego Santa in person.
And this was a really nice meet and greet. He's got his little fireplace there, and he and Mrs. Claus apparently went to Fiji. It says it on his hat, and but he's got the fireplace. He's got the snow falling. It wasn't too cold in there though, even with all that snow.
And this is new, by the way. This year, his meet indoor meeting place is a new addition. We were told.
Oh, I didn't. I actually
I guess
hadn't
he's
realized
kind of
that.
gone from place to place. And here is some official B-roll of the show I was talking about earlier with the gingerbread man there. Very energetic gingerbread man.
Legoland often has really fun shows, and it's nice to see them in their masks.
Yes.
And such, especially being that it's an indoor show. And I don't think we're going to see it this season, but maybe next year.
Right. I did see the outside. There was an outdoor show as well, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't quite as good as the Halloween version. So if I had to choose, I would have probably saw the Gingerbread Man show. This was great. The dancing lights had a kind of an Osborne Lights feel to it.
It sounded like the Osborne Lights with the music, not only the music and the way it was played, but the way they said, I don't know if they said it like the dancing lights will return again,
but
it sounded a lot like
nostalgic
that.
feel to me. I loved it. I thought this was one of the highlights of the event. This tree is beautiful.
I think this was my favorite part of the event too. It was just nice it was just very festive and there weren't too many guests there, and especially at this time when we were here, there weren't too many.
We are so thankful to our friends for inviting us to these cast, I guess, not cast,
model
citizen events, because it's wonderful with such few guests there.
Yes, it makes it easy for us and very enjoyable. The park is generally not open. It's not like we can ride rides, but we're really just there to see the holiday.
And that is another show.
That's another show. Thanks to our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mousesteps Travel. If you're planning on heading to Walt Disney World this year, or especially I always say especially in 2021, check them out. They've been in business such a long time now.
And we just had a wonderful Zoom chat with the owner, Becky. That was very nice.
It was really hour and a half. It was
time just flies by.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful to catch up. Zoom is such an amazing thing.
I didn't even know Zoom existed until all this. So this is one good thing. Now or at least for me, I know about this Zoom thing.
Well, I never did FaceTime. I was never really into talking to people. Like, remember those Epcot? What was it in Epcot called?
World Key. World Key. Oh, yes.
That made me so nervous. I did not. It was so freaky to talk to people who,
I didn't mind the world.
On a screen, and I always try to get out of doing it.
The best part is they were maybe 50 feet away as well, so they were like right behind.
It wasn't really something I did, so it took a little while. But now I love going onto Zoom and talking to friends, or doing interviews
and things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes it very easy.
And so I enjoy that.
So this week we will have much more on Epcot. We have a big day tomorrow at Epcot to see all the Christmas things. We only saw a few hours of the Christmas season at Epcot at night, so we're going to see everything.
A few hours, like an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, right.
Not even. So tomorrow we're going to see it all.
And I hope we really do see it all. I can't wait. What is the official name of it again?
The Taste of the International Festival of the Holidays. Because it's not the full, you're not getting candlelight processional or storyteller. So much of what guests come to have known for the Festival of the Holidays, or what used to be holidays around the world, will not be there, but you get a taste of it. And there's going to be food items at the booths. We haven't been there yet for all of that.
And the Voices of Liberty will be performing, joyful, so there will be some entertainment.
Of course, yeah, and the Jameters, I think, are taking up the Canadian stage, so we're going to see so much. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a chilly one. It's supposed to be a high of 55 degrees tomorrow.
We got in trouble last week when we mentioned chilly. Someone's like, 71 is not chilly.
Well, this is actually chilly, and I think that the 71 will...
So you're saying 55 is chilly?
Well, 71 was really cold for me that day because it was breezy.
You're going to hear about this.
Even Pocahontas had a coat on, and it's 71 degrees.
Our friends in Chicago might think otherwise.
It's okay. You know what? It's going to be the low in the 30s. Like, we're going to get up and it's going to be like 30s tomorrow, which is crazy. But I'm actually looking forward to it feeling like, Christmas.
So anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week. We'll see you all next week. Stay safe and happy holidays.
Stay safe and have a great week.